One, hey, two, hey, one, hey, two, hey, three, hey, four, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. Everybody get up. Ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. Everybody get up. Everybody get up.
LaDios.
Oh, happy to be here. Got some great stuff going on today, huh?
Yes. Today we're doing a very special review of a live play.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You excited about it?
Yes, I'm like, oh my God, live theater's back, people.
Oh, we've been waiting. We want to get back on the stage, but we were honored to be an audience member for 5280 Artist Coop. Their presentation was, what was it,
One night, six plays.
One night, six plays.
Yes,
this
absolutely.
is their third time doing this, right?
I believe so, maybe even their fourth. I can't remember.
It might be their fourth.
I think so.
So basically, they're one-act plays written by people of color, and they put it on for one night, and they have different themes for each play.
Yes.
5280 Artist Coop is co-founded by three lovely black women of color.
Yes.
Adrienne Fullwood.
Yes, Kenya Fashol.
And
Kenya Mahogany Fashol.
Kenya Mahogany Fashol. Y'all know her as Mahogany the poet.
Yes.
And Mrs. Hancock.
Yes.
Stephanie Hancock.
Yes, absolutely.
So they've been in business for quite some time, about six years maybe or so.
Yeah.
And they're located on, I think it's 1400 Dallas Street. This is their last show in that space. They don't know if they're going to be there, but keep abreast on them and keep following them as they do good works.
Absolutely.
We were honored. We came in a little bit late in the game, so the show started on April 30th. It'll be closing on May 29th. Tickets are $25 at the door and $25 online and $26 at the door.
Yes, and you can go to www.5280artistcoop to get that, COOP.com, and get your tickets and definitely support African American arts and get out there and get your seats in the theater. Because get out. Did I say that right?
You did.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And just so you know that because the theaters are opening, Rav'n and I will be doing more reviews for theater. We're excited, so be gentle with us.
Yeah.
We're trying to get away from the TV because we're trying to get out.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get started.
Yeah.
So there was One Night, Six Plays, 2021. There were some stellar actors in there that I absolutely thought were fabulous. I'm just going to give a couple of the names. Abid Hassan, Annie Sand, Don Randall, Evan Williams, Gandia Johnson, Joey Laughlin, Latifah Johnson, Michaela Murray, Monica, I think that's Dion Shu, and Steve Wise. And let's not forget Aubrey Fullwood, who was the dancer between the acts, a phenomenal dancer.
Beautiful dancer.
Yes.
She's absolutely riveting. So do you want to just go through the plays one by one?
Sure.
Let's
We're gonna go through the plays, give a little bit. We're not gonna give away what it was. Just give a little thought, what our takeaways were, what we liked about the play, and then we're gonna keep it moving because we really don't want to destroy the, we
want you to be excited.
But these plays were very thought-provoking plays. So the first one we seen was, I believe it was The Moors by Chris Black.
Yes, absolutely. And this kind of delved into academia and colorism, if you will. So that was a very interesting take. I don't want to give too much away, but they were doing a production of Othello, and African American student is kind of expecting to get the role, and it goes kind of from there. So
So the actors in this play were Evan Williams, Annie Sand, and Joey Laughlin. Very good, phenomenal actors. This, in my opinion, was about discriminations and unconscious biases that are still prevalent in theater and on film in the entertainment business. It made me think about Selma Hayek. I just read an article about her and how she was discriminated, that she was up for 2 prominent lead roles, but was turned down because she was Mexican and a woman. And so my takeaway about this film is that a lot of times we, because there was one thing when the actor, Evan Williams, was offered because he didn't get the role, even though he should have gotten the role because Othello was black. The professor offered him as an assistant director. And so my takeaway was that sometimes we don't get what we want because there's still those stigmas that we can't do a lead role on stage or on film. So they offer us a seat at the table, and they offer us accolades, money, material things, and prestige, but it's really not solid of what we are there for. So that was my takeaway on that play. What was yours?
Absolutely. Mine was that in terms of academia and the Ivy League, I guess, that you will not see diversity because it's not always for their alumni and the people that are paying the big tuition. So that's a really sad thing in America that we need to get over. It almost reminded me of, and I brought this up before, the white Effie White, or remember it was in Orange is the New Black, and they had a white girl play, Dream Girls. So yeah, that's kind of what it reminded me of. So yeah, really disheartening.
Yeah, so great takeaways from each of us. So the next one was The Lessons by Kenya Fashol. I don't know why I said this. Now, Kenya never fails me. She is a phenomenal poet, singer, author, writer, director. She is just good, and I'm always looking forward to her plays. The actors in here were Stevie Wise, Monica Dionne, and Don Randall. This was a very interesting play. Again, it's more the obvious discriminations from our counterparts, but the contrast was the misjudgments of the discriminations and unconscious bias that we have about one another. Yeah. And so one of the things that I loved in there was the contrasting simultaneous monologues that the two played in this one act.
Yes. That was so powerful. Don Randall was really amazing, and so was Monica, as far as being really believable in her role of this uptight kind of counselor, really judgy counselor, and a principal that's trying to reach a student who's been through a tragedy that he can relate to with this fellow student, and the student is very gifted, and he's African American, and it's really beautiful to see a adolescent who's struggling with their identity and with their issues and where they fit in the world, and with a authority figure who really wants to be there and is getting rejected because they don't feel understood. So it was just really amazing and really powerful.
Yeah, it was definitely a powerful piece. My takeaway was that sometimes when we look good on paper, but people haven't physically seen us, that we all have these misconceptions and prejudgments of how one is going to act. That was something very prevalent by the character that Monica played. Yes. She seen this beautiful person on paper, but in person she didn't realize that the two coincide. Yeah, also the unconscious biases that also the principal or the director of the school had with the actual new student. So we all have to be aware. That was my main takeaway for that. It was a great, like I said, Kenya Fashol, she never fails me. I always look forward to her work.
Yeah, it's so powerful, absolutely. Yeah. The next one was Don't Hate Me Because I'm Beautiful by Mario Farwell. This one was hilarious.
Larry. I totally enjoyed myself. Oh my God. Okay, the actors in there was Abid Hassan, Don Randall, Gandia Johnson, Michaela Murray, and Joey Laughlin. Incredible. It was like the comic relief of the whole set. Yes. Of the whole, vignettes, of all the vignettes. It was hilarious. And Don Randall outdid himself.
Oh my God.
He went there.
Oh my God. He went there. He went there. You gotta see it. I mean, oh my God. He
was totally, I would swear he was a method actor in that one. He went there. So this was about prejudice, racisms, and biases ones have, and they made it relatable as far as like animals. They use a dog, a cat, hippo, rat, and a bird. It was incredibly hilarious, and it was very relatable. Like you could relate to everything about this play. Very funny. The actors really embellished and embody their characters of these animals.
Yeah, and I love the costumes and the makeup. Everybody did a really great job. And I liked Abid Hassan. He was quite lovable and really funny. So
Michaela was good. She played the bird, right?
Yeah.
She was really funny.
She's amazing.
Yeah. One of my favorites was Gandia, who plays the kitty.
Oh my gosh, she was amazing.
I really enjoy her work. Gandia is a very authentic actor, and she took me there. But Don, I would say he stole the show.
Don stole the show.
He stole the show.
Yeah.
So my takeaway with this vignette was something that stood out, because it does deal with prejudice, racism, and biases. Was that when you kill it in sport, it's a sport, but others are murdered. And so that was a kind of a preface of something they said in there, and it just made me think that no matter how many credentials we have, no matter how much we strive for education, financially, whatever accolades, that it doesn't make someone to accept us. Sometimes our counterparts may or may not ever accept us, no matter how hard we try to integrate into society as established human beings in society. That we're trying to be the opposite of what they see us versus what we really are. So that's just something that stood out for me for that piece. And it's not just our counterparts, it's also, again, we are just, people of color can be just as discriminatory and biased with others as well. So that was one of my takeaways.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway from that one was self-love and self-acceptance. That at the end of the day, people are going to judge you, and you don't have any control over what they think or how they feel about it or anything else. But if you can go back to yourself and maintain your level of self-love and self-respect, that's going to go far, even if you're a big hippo.
That is great. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Remember that. Great takeaway. The next one was The Making of Bond by Lou Johnson.
Yeah, this was fun.
That one was very fun.
Yes, this was another comedic one, right? And basically we're on the set of a Bond film, and in comes James Bond, but oh my gosh, he's black. And that's pretty much where it goes, is this white actress being like, but I can't work with you. So it was really funny, really kind of putting into, I guess, the preposterousness of a black superhero kind of thing, that in America there is kind of this belief that we have our roles, and to see somebody outside of that set role is just preposterous. That's just crazy. So that's what I felt like this one touched on. Yeah,
that one definitely touched on some things. The actors in there was Don Randall again, Evan Williams, Monica Dion Sue, and Abid Hassan. This was definitely a great comedy. This was, in my opinion, some of the subliminal messages and stereotypes the media still projects in theater and film. Again, it goes back to the first one we mentioned, where I was saying how they don't feel, being our counterparts, or just the media in general, that we can't carry a scene and be in a lead role. But my main takeaway with this was that if we could unify with one another, we can break down those barriers, and we can break down those stereotypes of who someone of color can be a lead role, whether they're Asian, Hispanic, Black, or whatever. So that was my takeaway on that. I really enjoyed this piece. So what did you think? What was your takeaway?
Yeah, my takeaway was kind of similar to yours, that we need to, especially in film, because you see it a lot in theater in terms of breaking down those roles, but we need to see that in film. I know that there was, I can't remember if it was Shonda Rhimes, or it was definitely a prominent Black female director, well, I should say producer, and it was a redo of Romeo and Juliet, but it was a multi-diverse cast, and I loved it, and I was like, we need to see that. We need to see a Black Juliet. We need to see, we just need to break these norms, because nobody needs to be put into a box, especially after 2021. Like, I mean, look
Yeah.
how far we are in history.
Yeah.
So, and I think that actually brings us to the next piece.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. A Shade or Two Darker by Joseph Arnon.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a period piece.
Yeah.
And, How did you feel about this one, LaDios?
Okay, so the acting I really like. The actors were Joey Laughlin, Monica Dionsu, I hope I'm saying her name right, and Steve Wise. I really enjoyed the acting. I enjoyed the accents. I enjoyed the whole period. I just was not sure if I was still like uncertain at the ending. I still couldn't grasp the ending of and without trying to give away what was going on, but I wasn't sure of the ending. It was
Yeah, there wasn't much resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I thought it was interesting to kind of bring up the fact that, you know, in the 1800s and in the, you know, in the past when you know, like sometimes you would have a dark child come out with two white parents. And was it genes? Is it an affair?
Yeah.
Is it that kind of thing? So, and then I liked the casting because it was so apparent that
Yes.
this was a black child and not, you know, really high yellow where it could have been, you know, something down the bloodline kind of thing. But we don't know, you know,
Yeah.
because genetics are weird.
They are.
Sometimes somebody will come out with blue eyes and nobody's had
Yeah.
blue eyes in a century. So that was an interesting thing, the struggle between being seen and being accepted. I guess this was my takeaway is that, you know, that's kind of the hard thing with parenting and children in general, that a lot of times we feel like we're not living up to our parents' expectations or, you know, those kind of things. So to have to deal with that and then be a different race, that was really like, wow. So yeah, but I agree with you in terms of resolution.
Yeah, it was unsettling. However, I did have a good takeaway, and I'm gonna kind of build off what you said. As I think because I wasn't sure, like you kind of alluded to, if it was genes or if it was an extramarital affair.
Right.
I guess it was for us to make our decision. But something that not triggered me, but that kind of put the light bulb on me, that made me think family secrets will destroy the family, which was something that was said. And that was a takeaway that the secrets in the family will destroy. And then keeping the silence with racism. This child is suffering through racism because of the color of his skin. And the parents are not really supporting them. And they're kind of ducking and then there's the resentment of the father not knowing, you know, if that's his child or not. And, you know, so that was my takeaway. Again, it was unresolved, and it may have been purposely unresolved because of the fact that they wanted us to draw our own conclusion.
Sure.
But it was a good piece.
Yeah.
It
was
left me kind of hanging.
It was thought-provoking.
Yeah, it was thought provoking.
Yeah,
It was moving.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, but very moving.
And that brings us next to The Cleaning Ladies by Clinisha D. Sibley, sorry.
Yes.
And that was basically set right after Malcolm X's assassination, and they were sent in to the stage where he had just died to clean up the slaughter. And this was a hugely dramatic piece. I love the actors in this, Latifah Johnson, Michaela Murray, and Gandia Johnson. They all did spectacular jobs. I love Latifah's. She just has a way to bring the drama, man. I just love watching her act. This was a really powerful piece because it talks a lot about how we just try to move on when it's one of our figures, you know, it's just move on, go back to work, not, you know, whereas, you know, maybe somebody else, you know, like, it might have been a ticker tape parade and, you know, 2-week tribute, whatever. So that was, I don't know, it was a sad piece.
Yeah.
Just going back to that moment in time in history.
It definitely was, I would say, a very, it was an emotional piece. I would definitely say that in this piece per se that you mentioned how like they just minimalized the death, like it didn't really matter. Like there's a death at 1 o'clock, and then all of a sudden after the death they're talking about clean so they could throw a party in that venue. And again, I love Michaela and Latifah. I mean, Michaela makes the best choices on stage. She is a phenomenal actor. I've seen her in several shows at 5280. Latifah she just pierced my heart. It was, there is undertones of domestic violence and the things that women put up through, trying to sustain love and supporting their spouse and bringing in the dollars and the times. And, this is, of course, was in the times of the 50s and the 60s. So, the rights for a woman back then was completely different than it would be for today. But something that was thought-provoking that was one of my main takeaways was that they said the most disrespected person is the Black woman.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me through the entire play. And the fact that these Black women are trying to make a living, the fact that a Black woman is trying to go to school, so she does whatever means necessary to pay for her tuition to better her life, to get out of the ghetto. The fact that a Black woman, has to clean every day for the rest of her life, that's only her skill set. The fact that the Black woman is dealing with domestic violence and her husband is coming home because he's stressed out and he's taking out on her. The fact that they have these Black women cleaning up Malcolm's mess. I thought it was interesting. They didn't call the cleaning services, which could have been anybody of color. They called the Black woman. So this play really hit home. I would love to see this play in a full production. I don't know what that would look like, but I think that was one of my favorites. There's others, but that was one of them that really, really, truly touched me.
Yeah, I agree. This was definitely probably one of my favorites as well. It was just so thought-provoking. And to your end, as far as you were saying, as far as the Black woman and the disrespect, the other thing that Black women never got up until maybe the 80s and 90s was to get to be seen as beautiful and attractive in the media and things like that. We were always hidden away. And maybe there'd be a Dorothy Dandridge, maybe there'd be a, Lena Horne, but, it wasn't on your regular, it was, I remember I was shocked and so happy when Beyonce landed the Pepsi campaign from Britney Spears. And I was like, whoa, this is progress. Like, wow, we're going to get to see a beautiful Black woman, portrayed everywhere. So definitely going back to that time, how hard it was, and, my takeaways. I don't have any, anything really to add besides what you said, because you really kind of hit it on the head. So yeah, it was just a great little vignette. Definitely worth seeing, and like you said, the actors were phenomenal. Michaela Murray is so fun to watch, and Latifah Johnson, she always just brings it home. So so it was great.
These are some great vignettes. I'm looking forward to just reviewing a whole bunch of plays. Everybody's getting out there. We want to encourage you to go and support Black theater, or just theater in general. Yeah,
support the arts.
And all of these directors or writers actually are people of color. And the director was Dwayne Carrington, who directed this entire piece.
Yes, and he did phenomenal.
Yes, so we want to give our kudos. So please go see the play. We'll put some shots of us taking pictures at the venue. They remodeled the stage. It looked great. Yeah, Kenya Fashol's husband, Mr. Fashol, Gene Fashol, he built the stage. It was absolutely lovely. So we just want to say thank you for sliding through. Yeah. We appreciate it. You got any closing words and remarks?
We are actors from the dark side. Yeah. We're so happy that you came in and joined us. Please subscribe, comment, and like us. So that's about it. Get out there.
And remember, you don't have to remember to get up and get out and do something for yourself. I'm LaDios Muhammad, an actor with purpose.
And I'm Rav'n, an actor with passion.
And we are actors
from the dark side.